Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Balanced Vibes podcast. This is a brand new episode, and I am your host, Kirsten. Today, we're going to talk about why too much exercise is bad for weight loss. And I think this topic is interesting for so many of you because so many of you have this goal. You want to lose weight. However, before we even get started with the reasons why too much exercise is bad, before that, I want to say that don't get confused. There is a big difference between weight loss and fat loss. There can be a big difference between weight loss and fat loss. But a lot of people don't understand is that it's not necessarily weight loss that gives them the results that they want to get. What most people want to get is more leanness, right? Less body fat, more muscle. Even though you might be thinking, oh, I don't want muscle. Muscle is manly. Muscle makes me look like a dude. No, this is not true. Muscle is what gives you the shape and what gives you the strength and what gives you the curves, let's say, the feminine curves that a lot of women want. And gaining muscle and reducing body fat doesn't always mean losing weight. It can mean that, but it doesn't always mean that. So when I titled this podcast this way, why too much exercise is bad for weight loss, then what I actually mean here is why too much exercise is bad for body composition change or the positive body composition change that you want to see. And I really encourage you, if you are really, really attached to the scale and you use that as the only way to measure your progress, then try to let go of that a little bit and start using other ways of checking if you're making progress or not. There are so many other ways. There are photos, there are measurements, and also how you are feeling, because weight loss isn't always the best thing. Like when, for example, when things start messing with your sleep, when you train too much. And by the way, we're getting into these things in a minute. And then you're just losing weight on the scale, but at the same time, your biofeedback is absolutely terrible. This is not a good thing either. So I just want to make sure that you understand that. What I'm talking about here today is, there's a person who wants to change her body composition, wants to look leaner, wants to look fitter, get stronger. Why too much exercise is bad for that person. And I'm going to give you 6 thoughts or 6 reasons why this isn't the best thing to do, why overtraining is not great for you, overreaching is not a great thing. And also I'm going to give you a 6 kind of steps that you should be doing if you want to get these results without overtraining. So let's get into it. So here are some of the reasons why too much exercise is bad for a body composition goal, fat loss, and sometimes also weight loss. The first reason is that it just ends up being too much stress. If you're working out too much and you don't get enough recovery time. Here's what happens. Your stress hormones are elevated when you're exercising, and this is a good thing. This is how it should be. However, if you train too much, right? If you train hours and hours a day, especially tend to see this with cardio exercise, people just go crazy. They think they have to do more and more and more and more to get the results that they want. It just ends up being too much stress because your stress hormones almost never calm down. You are always constantly in this fight or flight state. And this is not a state where your body wants to let go of anything extra. We have to understand, and I've covered this earlier too in previous episodes and in my blog post and so forth, that your body needs to feel safe before it can let go of anything. Now think about it. Does it feel safe if you keep hammering it all the time? If you keep doing workouts that say 6 and 7 days a week, the way I did them back in the day, and the way a lot of the people who come to me with their worries, their concerns, is that they are just doing too much. I did the same thing, 6, 7 workouts a week, mostly cardio workouts. And I tend to see this more with cardio, and the body is just constantly trying to recover. It's constantly being hammered, and the stress hormones are just so high that the body doesn't even think about letting go of anything extra. So we may think that we have extra this and extra that, and we want to get rid of that weight and the body fat. But if the body is under constant stress, it doesn't think that there's anything extra to let go of. So a lot of the times what it actually starts doing is it keeps preserving that body fat. And this is pretty common thing that I see with a lot of people, especially those who, in addition to working out 6, 7 days a week intensely and oftentimes too long. What they also do is that they cut their calories really low, and this is now the perfect storm. This is the perfect, how would I say, like a place where body becomes totally unresponsive and you're not getting the results that you want because it's just under too much stress. There are so many things that you can do to reduce your stress, and one of those things is just to work out a little bit less. If you're currently doing workouts almost every single day, you'll be surprised that you're probably going to start getting better results if you just cut back and start doing better workouts. But like I said, we get to solutions a little bit later in this episode. However, the first point was the first reason why too much exercise is bad for your fat loss is that you are just under too much stress and the body just simply cannot do what you want it to do. Actually, one more thing before I jump to the next point is that what your body can do, the amount of exercise your body can tolerate, is not necessarily the amount of exercise that you should be doing. So, could you work out 6 days a week? Yeah, but is this the best for you? Probably not. The same thing for me. Like I could go to a gym 7 days a week. I would just be so exhausted. I know that the workouts would not be good quality. I would not be able to give it my all. I would just be sore and in pain, and this would not be a great workout. And overall, I would be so fatigued and tired, which actually brings me to the next point, which is too much exercise can really start messing with your sleep. And from my personal experience, this is absolutely the case. This is honestly my first indicator that where I know that I have been overreaching is that my sleep starts getting wonky. A lot of times people are unable to fall asleep when they are constantly overreaching, doing too much exercise, or the other problem can be that it's really difficult to stay asleep. You start waking up around 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. and you're exhausted and you can't go back to sleep. There's, again, it comes down to the same thing, the first thing, which we talked about, was just stress. The body's just under too much stress. You probably have some not so healthy cortisol patterns, which then wake you up at night. It can also be a blood sugar issue that can be waking you up at night. In either way, too much exercise can start messing with your sleep. And sometimes I see also the opposite of this problem, which is people just want to sleep so much, and no matter how much they sleep, they feel like they never feel rested. They're never rested. They could sleep like 10 hours, 11 hours, 12 hours, still don't feel rested. However, they go to the gym and still work out. And I would say that this is almost like a deeper problem. This is like one step even down from that state of being, waking up at night, not being able to sleep, kind of on and off. When you want to sleep like 12 hours a day and you still don't feel rested, that's almost even worse. You let things go even worse. And what you should not be doing is going back to the gym on that day when you had a day like this. So what can poor sleep do? Poor sleep definitely means poor recovery. You're not able to give it your all, just like I mentioned previously. A lot of times it means more cravings. I think we all know what that feels like when you've had a night of terrible sleep or no sleep at all. The next day you just want things a lot more, all kinds of things, sweets and snacks and salty and crispy and crunchy and all that kind of stuff. It's so much harder to just feel normal, to feel satisfied and satiated with your meals. You just want to get more stuff, and the cravings are through the roof. Of course, hormonal imbalances start showing up when the sleep is not very good. One of the things I would say, it's helpful to sometimes track your sleep. So if you have something like Oura Ring or another fitness device that helps you track your sleep, it can be a helpful tool. However, I don't want you to get obsessed with that. And I'm saying this because everything pretty much that I say on this podcast is either my own experience or experience of my clients that I've seen. It's also possible that we get super obsessed with tracking everything that we are doing and waking up first thing in the morning, checking what the sleep score was. So I don't want that to happen for you at all, because that only causes more obsession, only causes more fear. Oh my goodness, I didn't recover, I didn't sleep well, what am I going to do, blah, blah, blah. It's just, it becomes a terrible cycle, and you don't want to get stuck there. There are times when it might be better for you to take that ring off or take that wristband, whatever you're wearing for fitness tracking or sleep tracking off, if you feel like things are going really bad, because I don't want you to create more and more stress for yourself. However, it's helpful to check the trends sometimes. So you can maybe put together, okay, I had a really, really hard workout here, and the following night I did not sleep. Okay, so this is a data point. It's almost like macro tracking. Okay, this is a data point. I see how things are going. When I do X, then Y happens after that, right? Or maybe you had a really stressful day at work or with family, whatever the thing was. Sometimes your fitness tracker can show you exactly that your sleep the following night was not great. So start paying attention to that. Again, not obsessively, maybe take it like week by week. Don't check it every single morning obsessively, but see, how were things going this week, and try to go back. Okay, Wednesday night sleep was terrible. Did I have a really, really hard, really taxing, really draining workout earlier that day? And what can we then conclude from that? So this was my second point. Too much exercise can start messing with the sleep, which then leads to poor recovery, more cravings, hormonal imbalances, and so forth, which is definitely not an ideal circumstance for losing body fat. The third point, the third reason why too much exercise is bad for fat loss is that you're not getting enough recovery time. It's important to understand that muscle grows and develops when we are resting, not the moment that we are working out. So really the magic happens during recovery. And I'm going to say some of the best, the most successful people that I know, as far as, their body composition and, how they look and feel and all that, they're the people who are able to rest as hard as they work out. They make that as big of a priority as the working out itself, because they know how important it is. You have to have enough recovery time. It's very, very common that we think that we have to just push harder, and as long as we get the workouts done, it's good. But a lot of times this is not true. Like I said many times, if you keep hammering your body and you're not recovering enough, then you're not getting the results. Your results are only as good as your recovery is. This is the truth. And if you are now working out, let's say 6 days a week, you do 3 long runs and you do 3 really heavy weightlifting workouts, then you're not ready getting results. And on top of that, you are also maybe cutting calories really low and you're eating just barely around your BMR, then you're probably going to see better results if you actually cut your workouts down a little bit and stop doing all that crazy cardio to begin with, and also cut back on the strength a little bit. And you might be surprised how cutting from 6 workouts to, let's say, 3 or 4 might be giving you amazing results, because finally you are allowing your body some rest and recovery. And this is mentally super, super difficult. This is a typical type A person who wants to do all the things and is so committed and so dedicated, and no matter what, I get through this. And it's hard to let go of that mentality. It's hard to let go of the idea of working out 6 days a week. But if they only gave it a chance, and if they only let themselves experience what it feels like to do less and get more results. Of course, that means that your workout programming has to be good. You can't do random stuff. You can't be just doing cardio, or you can't be doing random workouts from YouTube, or some kind of fitness influencers workouts from Instagram. No, your workouts have to be structured and organized in a great way, in a way that actually gives you results. If you do those 3-4 days a week, you're going to be doing really, really well, instead of going really hard 6 days a week, struggling, not getting results. All right, this was the fourth reason why too much exercise is bad for fat loss. The fifth reason is that you might be actually eating more than you need when you work out a lot. I don't know if you've seen this or heard about this, but I know some marathon runners, or some people who sign up for a long marathon and they start training. And a lot of times the reason why they do this is that they want to lose weight, right? However, what they find is that at the end of that marathon training period, they have actually gained weight and they did not get the results that they wanted. First of all, I want to say that using cardio for losing body weight and body fat is not a good strategy at all. I've done multiple episodes on this topic particularly, because what you actually want to do is you want to increase your metabolic rate, which happens with lifting heavy weights, eating a little bit more, keeping the protein high, and so on, so that you're teaching your metabolism to burn body fat even when you're at rest. So cardio is not a great fat loss method. But coming back to those who maybe have set a goal, I'm going to run this race so that I stay motivated to train every day. And then now all of a sudden they found that, oh my goodness, I actually gained weight. The reason might be that they ended up eating more than they needed. The reason is, they train hard, And it feels almost like, oh, I now deserve a lot, or I burned so many calories, I'm going to eat more. And a lot of times those calories just are too high. And we don't realize that we ate actually a lot more than what we burned, because it takes a lot of work to burn 500 calories on a run, but it's not that hard at all to eat 500 calories, at least in my opinion. It's not hard to eat 1,000 calories. It's not difficult. So it can easily happen. We just have this like reward mentality. Oh, I trained, I get to eat now. And then we just accidentally eat more than we needed, and the result is not what we wanted it to be. And the last point why too much exercise is bad for your fat loss is that it can really increase cravings. And I've noticed that especially too much cardio can do that, and especially when it's combined with really low calorie eating, you are craving stuff all the time. Your cravings are through the roof. Food is always on your mind. It's really exhausting. I remember when this was the case, food was always on my mind. What am I going to eat next? Can I eat this? Can I have that? I really want that chocolate, but I cannot, right? This like really restrictive mindset. And it's a really difficult place to be if you have a fat loss goal. And now I got to say, like when I stopped doing all this training that I used to do, and when I started eating enough for my body, I rarely have any intense cravings. In fact, the other day, actually, I had to fill out some forms for my upcoming hormone test. That I kind of signed up for or requested. Then one of the questions in this long questionnaire was, what do you typically crave? What kinds of foods you crave? And I was thinking, like, you know what? I don't know that I specifically like crave anything too crazy. Yeah, I like chocolate. I have a little bit, probably most days. Also, like some foods. I really like salmon. I really like eggs, but I wouldn't say that I crave stuff all the time, or like this sweet or crunchy or oily stuff that a lot of people do crave when they are underfed. Then these things are pretty much gone. And again, it's not to say that I don't like these things, I don't eat these things. I absolutely do, and I like them. But it's never like I remember back in the day that the cravings were like, I just can't like sit still here. It's like so intense. I have to go to the store and buy a crap ton of stuff and just eat it. And that was back in the days when I was binge eating. I've shared this before too. I was having really big binge eating episodes a couple of times a month because I was so restricted all the time. I was running so much. I was so overtrained. And I was wondering, why do I want to binge all the time? And literally, this could probably be an episode on its own, but my binges were not just eating 5 cookies. When people say that they binged, they ate 5 cookies, I'm like, you don't know what a binge is. You really don't, because the real binge for me, it felt like it was like so primal, this intense this intense need to get this food into my body. It was so primal. It was almost like I could just, I don't know, go attack somebody to get that thing. And I remember I would go to the store and find like, I don't know how many chocolate bars or cookies, whatever. And the moment that they were on the, on that belt before you check out, I was just like staring at them like, I cannot wait to pay for this so I can start eating this. It was like this intense craving. And this is what I'm talking about. When you're having this and you're doing all these things like overtraining, trying to keep your calories super low, you're never satisfied with your food, you're always thinking about food, you get these binge episodes, then this is not a good place to be. And the result or the cause can be that you're just training too much and you're not giving your body what it needs. You're not giving your body the rest it needs. You're not giving your body the calories it needs. And that's why you're feeling this way. All right. So next I want to move on to what is then the appropriate amount of exercise, right? So we already talked about too much is too much, and it's all relative to your recovery. I mean, I want to say that if there's somebody who recovers really, really well, and I know a couple of people like that, then they can work out 5-6 days a week, no problem. But a lot of us don't recover that well. And a lot of us don't have that super low stress lifestyle. There's all kinds of other stressors outside of our workouts too that impact us. So for most people, what I would say, and this brings me to my first point, is 3 to 4 strength workouts per week is a really healthy place to be. You don't have to do more than that, especially if you're a beginner or intermediate, or there is no need for you to work out 6 days a week, 7 days a week, 2 hours every time. I've seen a lot of people like this, 2 hours, 3 hours daily. That's just crazy. It's not necessary. You can get away with by doing so much less, and you can get so much better results. I wish I had this like magic way of convincing people that this really is the truth. This is how I personally train. 3 or 4 days a week max. I don't do more than that. I do walk, which brings me to my next point. Walk an hour to 1.5 hours a day. And this might seem like a big time commitment, but it's also really, really relaxing. It has a lot of hormonal benefits. It's really restorative. It's not the same thing as hitting it really hard at the gym all the time. So if you have been doing a lot of workouts every single week, then switch some of them for just walking. So 3 or 4 strength workouts a week and at least an hour walking a day. This is literally the foundation, the basics of your great results at this gym. And of course, recovery as well. The third recommendation that I have is to choose right workouts for your goals. Oh my goodness, where do I even start with this? So a lot of the times we're doing just random stuff. Same thing with myself, same thing with so many other people that I see just picking random workouts. I saw this fitness influencer who had this really big, nice round butt that I want to have too, doing these workouts. So I'm going to do that too. And we don't even know what we're doing. So this fitness influencer might be working out with, or showing that she's working out with those tiny little bands and doing fire hydrants. And these are great for priming and warming up, but these are not the exercise that give you that big butt that you want to get. Same thing with YouTube workouts. We just pick like one thing from YouTube and then the other video, and they're fun and they're kind of like nice and cool and sweaty, but they are not programmed properly. So it's important that the workouts are programmed properly. You need to have a structure. You need to focus on mostly on the 5 big lifts. If you have a muscle building goal, you want to get stronger, fitter, and leaner, then you have to organize your workouts. You have to also use progressive overload, which is over time increasing the load, increasing the weights that you're using, not using the same thing 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, and so on in a row. It's not giving you results. So I really encourage you to find a good trainer online, and I'm here to help you with that, of course, absolutely, as well, who can program you organized, structured workouts that actually give you results. Stop bouncing from one program to another program. Stop relying on cardio so much. Stop doing all that HIIT all the time. Slow down at the gym. Do old-fashioned, good old strength training, and you see how amazing results you will get. My next point is eat. I actually write it in my notes with 3 capital letters, eat and exclamation point. So you need to meet your calorie needs. This is a must. And if you don't know how much you need, I do have a great, in my opinion, great resource that is called the Lean Ladies Calorie and Protein Blueprint, which will teach you exactly your calorie needs for your specific goal. So in this blueprint, I first have you figure out what is your goal. Do you want to lose fat? Do you want to maintain your body weight? Do you want to bulk, which means put on a lot of muscle? Whatever your goal is, you will find how many calories you have to eat. And I will teach you exactly how to calculate that, because everything about your fitness goals and your eating has to be customized for you. You cannot copy other people's things. You cannot use online calculators, because those will likely not give you the best answers. So learn to eat to your according to your needs. And if you find that you're way under eating, you're eating just around your BMR, then this is the reason why you're not getting the results that you want to get. So make sure to grab that guide. It is in the show notes. It is pretty much everywhere where I hang out, my Instagram bio and all that. And the next thing that I want you to pay attention to, and I'm becoming a bigger fan of this, is use recovery tools. So if you want to get great fat loss results, fitness results, getting stronger, leaner, so forth, then it is really helpful to use recovery tools. The older I get, the more I realize that I really need them and benefit them. And here are some of my favorites. Ice baths. You probably knew this already. I get in the ice at least 3-4 days a week, if not more. I absolutely love this. Just this Sunday, I actually woke up on Saturday. I had done a pretty heavy workout. And Sunday I woke up, I was like, literally the only thing that I want right now is ice. I need to get in the ice. And this is what I did. And I felt so much better afterwards. So it literally calms down the inflammation. It makes you feel so much better. You know, a lot of athletes use ice baths as a way to recover from their workouts faster. The only thing you have to know is that don't get in the ice soon after you have done your lifting session, because that will bring down the inflammation, which is the instant inflammation. And you don't want that to happen, because inflammation is how you get results. go get your ice like 3 hours, 4 hours post workout or the next day, like I did the next day, 3-4 hours minimum. Don't do it any faster. Okay, some other tools that I like for workout recovery: infrared sauna. Luckily, I have access to one, so look around, see if you don't have it at home. Most people, I'm assuming, don't have it at home. If there's a wellness center or a spa or place where you could use infrared sauna, also really good for recovery. Red light therapy. In episode 120, I talked with Christine Weitzel of the Warrior Woman mode. We talked all things red light therapy and also ice baths. So check out that episode as well. Red light can be really helpful, also helping us to recover faster and get us into like a more rested mode, helping ourselves to recover, boost mitochondria health, all that. So these are the three things that I really like to do. And also focusing on mobility and doing at least one yoga session a week, or it can be like a couple of 15-minute sessions a week. Again, I gotta say, the older I get, the more I realize the benefits of these things. It's not anymore that you can just go and do the workout and just sit around and do nothing, or even worse, do more workouts. You have to pay attention to more restorative movement as well. And the last piece of advice that I have for you is to calm your mind down. Overtraining and overthinking tend to go hand in hand. I know this, I've seen this. Understand that nothing bad is going to happen when you rest. I know it's so hard for this, like a typical overthinker, type A perfectionist person, to accept this idea that I always used to do like 6-7 workouts a week. How come I'm now doing 3 and then I'm doing a yoga class? What the heck? Like, this is not enough. You got to calm your mind down. This is enough. A lot of times this is enough. And if you trust this, you start seeing better results. I'm talking to you, overtrained person who's doing too much, and who probably deep in their heart knows that they're doing too much. It's just that the mind that's telling you, no, you have to do more. You got to do these 7 classes. You got to do this and that. You cannot sit still, because who's going to burn the cows? This is the mindset that I used to have, and definitely don't have this anymore at all. I just do what feels good, and then getting the benefits, not really, overdoing it. There's no need for it. If you know what you're doing, if your programming is good, you're using recovery tools, and you give your mind a break too, and you stop pushing yourself every minute and accepting that what if doing a little bit less but smarter gives me better results. So there you have it. I hope this was helpful for you. Overtraining, doing too much exercise, does not give you the results that you want. More is not always better. Smarter is better. And a lot of times a little bit less is better. So I hope you found this episode helpful. If you like this, and if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to this channel. If you are listening to this on the podcast platform, then a nice five-star review would be really appreciated. So this is all from me today. Thank you for being here, and I see you again very soon. Bye bye.